Fall in, Polk County. This is today's veteran. Hello and welcome, and on behalf of everyone at the Polk County Office of Veteran Services, thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Kate West. On this installment of Today's Veteran, we'll highlight some news and upcoming events that pertain to the local veteran community and revisit some Memorial Day festivities in Polk County that honored our fallen heroes who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. Now stand by for your sit rep, Polk County, and prepare to copy. In VA news, veterans are preparing for the 33rd Annual National Veterans Wheelchair Games, taking place from 13 to 18 July in Tampa. Representing the largest annual wheelchair sports event in the world, the games are co-hosted by the James A. Haley VA Medical Center and the Florida Gulf Coast chapter of Paralyzed Veterans of America. More than 500 veterans from across the United States, Puerto Rico, and Great Britain will be competing in 19 events, including swimming, basketball, table tennis, archery, wheelchair slalom, and a timed obstacle course. The games are open to all U.S. military veterans who use wheelchairs for sports competition due to spinal cord injuries, neurological conditions, amputations, or other mobility impairments. Competition is against others with similar athletic ability, competitive experience, or age. VA Secretary Eric Shinseki says that the VA is committed to world-class care for our nation's veterans and encourages them to use adaptive sports as a key component of physical rehabilitation. These athletes know the healing power of competition that this event provides. Hiring Our Heroes is an initiative from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce to help veterans and military spouses find meaningful employment. If you are looking for a job, make plans to attend the hiring fair on 6th June at the Renaissance SeaWorld Hotel in Orlando. If you are unable to make it to this event, go online for a complete listing of hiring affairs in the area and more information on the Hiring Our Heroes program. On 21 May, the Disabled American Veterans, the VA, and the American Legion announced a new partnership effort called the Fully Developed Claims Community of Practice. This initiative will be a key part of the VA's overall transformation plan to end the backlog of claims and process them within 125 days at 98% accuracy. Claims are considered to be fully developed when veterans submit all available supporting evidence, like private treatment records and a notice of federal treatment records, to the VA at the time they first file a formal claim and certify that they have no more evidence to submit. The VA can process fully developed claims in half the time it takes for a traditionally filed claim, and according to the VA Undersecretary for Benefits, Allison Hickey, a fully developed claim is the most effective way to ensure a claim never reaches the backlog. This is the latest effort to support Secretary Shinseki's plan to reduce the backlog of claims by 2015. Last month, the VA announced the initiative to expedite compensation claims decisions for veterans who have waited 1 year or longer. Locally, in the St. Petersburg Regional Office, fully developed claims are being processed with an average pending time of only 60 days, with nearly 200 such claims completed in April. The VA also announced in May that it is mandating overtime for claims processors through the end of fiscal year 2013, with continued emphasis on high-priority claims for homeless veterans, those claiming financial hardship, the terminally ill, former POWs, Medal of Honor recipients, and veterans filing fully developed claims. There were other interesting facts released this month about the claims processed in the St. Petersburg Regional Office. There is an inventory of over 51,000 claims, with 35,000 claims that have been backlogged for more than 125 days. The average number of days a claim remains pending is 245, with 365 days being the average time it takes to complete a claim. St. Petersburg has 870 cases pending that are over 2 years old, and nearly 1,200 cases pending that are over 1 year old. Our Polk County Veteran Services officers are often the first contact a veteran has for filing a claim with the VA. At a recent training, all of them were updated on how to initiate a fully developed claim for submission to the National Service Office of the Veteran's Choice. On 17 May, the VA announced grants to support Secretary Shinseki's goal to end veteran homelessness in 2015. Under these new programs, homeless providers can apply for funding to enhance the facilities that are used to serve homeless veterans. Shinseki said that those who have served this nation as veterans should never find themselves on the street without hope and without care. Funds will be available to assist in the acquisition of vans in order to facilitate transportation of veteran participants to medical appointments, employment opportunities, and to facilitate outreach activities. The 2012 Annual Homeless Assessment Report estimated that there were nearly 63,000 homeless veterans on any given night in January in 2012 in the United States. While this statistic seems high, it is 7.2% lower than the 2011 statistic. In local veteran news, summer is upon us, and that means that the annual Warrior Walk is right around the corner. The Warrior Walk is a memorial event put together by the Iraq and Afghanistan veterans of Polk County and made possible through corporate sponsorships from a number of local and national organizations. The Warrior Walk is aimed at recognizing veterans, fallen service members, their families, and the often unique medical, social, and financial challenges that these groups face. The event begins at 800 hours on 27 July and will include a 2.7-mile walk around Lake Hollingsworth in Lakeland, a charity raffle, and much more. The Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of Polk County is a nonprofit organization, and proceeds from the raffle and subsequent donations will go to fund 2 Polk education scholarships. For more information on this year's Warrior Walk, visit warriorwalklakeland.com. Memorial Day is commonly marked as a day when Americans show their patriotism and celebrate a day off of work. However, many are unfamiliar with the history behind this holiday. Did you know that in the 1860s, the day was known as Decoration Day? It originated as a day to remember those who died during the Civil War, both Union and Confederate, and to decorate graves of those fallen soldiers. After World War I, the meaning and name changed to recognize all United States military men and women who have paid the ultimate price for our country. Every year, communities and cities across the country commemorate Memorial Day on the last weekend in May. Arguably the largest celebration takes place in Washington, D.C., with a parade, concerts, a service in Arlington National Cemetery, and of course, thousands of flags adorning headstones and monuments. Locally, many municipalities in Polk held ceremonies to mark the day. Here are some highlights.
Memorial Day was created as an occasion to honor those who have paid the ultimate price to ensure our freedom. It is a precious opportunity to stop and give thanks for the many that have died protecting that freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today for a special occasion. We want to thank the Haines City, town of Haines City for this dedication. The history of the Haines City Court of Honor, which is being dedicated today. Back in August of 2012, during the construction of the City Hall and the library project, which is to your front and to your back, which is very beautiful, the staff determined that the city of Haines City did not have a place to honor the military and its veterans for their service to our country. Staff then went to work working together to develop what you see in front of you today. A 50-foot 5-point star with 5 25-foot flagpoles and one 30-foot flagpole that covers the American flag and the prisoner of war flag. Over 1,000 plus cement pavers intended to don the name of those who have worn the uniform and the family members that have also sacrificed so much for this country. This star in Railroad Park was selected because of its natural beauty and its location in the heart of downtown Haines City. This reason for that location was because our service men and women are the heart of our community and should be honored accordingly. At the conclusion of this ceremony, this star will be hollow ground. Ladies and gentlemen, as we prepare to raise the flags.
Spacious eyes or amber waves of rain or purple mountains, majesty above the fruited plain of America, sweet, sweet America. God shed His grace on thee, oh, and crown thy good, sweet brotherhood from sea to shining sea, oh, from sea to shining sea.
Polk County is a very unique county. For one thing, Polk County is 2,010 square miles. You know, we're talking about a small state here. Polk County is 630,000 people, approximately. That's unique. What is even more unique is Polk County has approximately 60,000 veterans living in this county. I think that's also remarkable. So we have a very strong patriotic spirit, if you want to call it that, in Polk County. And I am just absolutely thrilled to be asked to be here to speak with you this morning and to be here just with you. I want to, first of all, just give a special thank you to the people who conceived this park and to brought it into and to bring it into being, and who organized this event this morning for us to come here and to honor those who have fallen and to dedicate this park. I want you to remember one thing. These people who served, those people who have given their lives, they were all heroes. Just remember that. They were all heroes. As a matter of fact, I can think of one thing that was said by one of the veterans, one of the survivors of Iwo Jima. And you might remember him, a gentleman by the name of Ira Hayes. I know somebody here remembers Ira Hayes. I hope you all do. Thank you. Give Ira Hayes a big hand. Ira Hayes said one time, "I'm not a hero. I just was there. I did my job. The heroes are dead on Iwo Jima."
The poem that I have been asked to read is a poem composed by Edgar Guest. It's titled, "The Things That Make a Soldier Great." The things that make a soldier great and send him out to die, to face the flaming cannon's mouth, nor ever question why. Our lilacs by the little porch, the row of tulips red, the daisies and the pansies too, the old petunia bed. The grass plot where his children play, the roses on the wall. 'Tis these that make a soldier great. He's fighting for them all. 'Tis not the pomp and pride of kings that make a soldier brave. 'Tis not allegiance to the flag that over him may wave. For soldiers never fight so well on land or on the foam as when behind the cause they see the little place called home. Endangered but that humble street whereon his children run, you make a soldier of the man who never bore a gun. What is it through the battle smoke the valiant soldier sees? The little garden far away, the budding apple trees, the little patch of ground back there, the children at their play, perhaps a tiny mound behind the simple church of gray. The golden thread of courage isn't linked to Castle Dome, but to the spot, wherever it be, the humbled spot called home. And now the lilacs bud again, and all is lovely there, and homesick soldiers far away. No spring is in the air. The tulips come to bloom again. The grass once more is green, and every man can see the spot where all his joys have been. He sees his children smile at him. He hears the bugle call, and only death can stop him now, for he's fighting for them all.
As we like to do in closing the show, we offer members of the local veteran community the chance to share with us some of their experiences while in uniform. This month, we are joined by Martin F. Buss as he talks about the time he spent in the Marine Corps during the Korean and Vietnam Wars.
I joined the Marine Corps in 1947 and went from Seattle, Washington, where I joined because I went out to visit my sister before I went in, and to San Diego, and I graduated with an honor platoon 73 at San Diego Recruit Depot. And from there I had 10 days off and had to report to San Francisco and was put on a ship, and we went overseas. And originally I was supposed to go to Honolulu, and but my orders got changed in the middle of the ocean, and they sent us all to Guam, and we were a training unit on Guam for a little over a year. And the first opportunity I had, I put in for a transfer. They sent me to Japan, where flew into Yokosuka, but I was stationed in Yokosuka as a guard duty, and then I was promoted into the MPs. So I was an MP in Yokosuka for almost 10, 12 months, and then I got transferred up to Tokyo for a month and a little over a month at Commander Comnav Fee. We were the security unit for his thing there. And I was sent back to Yokosuka and was ready to be sent back to the United States because I had served my couple of years overseas, and they cut off all transfers back to the States. So I went and volunteered to go to Korea. The Korean War just started. And I took a minesweeper from Yokosuka, which is a naval base, and to South Korea. And it was just, I got there just after they had formed their defense line around Busan. And we went around on the boat to Incheon, made the Incheon landing, and then proceeded up through Seoul and secured all that area and got back on the boat again. Went around to Hamhung and landed there. That's at the bottom of North Korea. And we proceeded for the next, I guess it must have been close to 4 months, up into North Korea, and all the way, we were on patrols all the way up to the Yalu River. And we didn't have too much resistance when we first went up there until the Chinese come in the war. And that's when everything went kind of blew up. Although I guess I could save them for my life, thank them for my life, because when they come into the war there, the bombs are going off, and I was in reserve platoon behind the hill, and my mouth, I couldn't open my mouth. It was frozen shut. My whiskers had grown over my mouth. My eyes were frozen shut. I couldn't open my eyes. I had to claw my way through to get it done. First thing I did, though, was take my razor out of my backpack and clipped off the mustache so it wouldn't do it again. And then we just proceeded to get together, and we were told by the President of the United States that we were to attack in the other direction, as we call it. And we started proceeding out of the chosen. That was when it was 54 degrees below zero. And I froze my feet. My hands, still to this day, there's no feelings in my fingers. And I was on part of the guard that covered the flanks as the main group went down through to where we were originally stationed. And it took us, I don't know, must have been a couple of weeks. I have no idea. Time, you lose track of time. But we had one bit of order that we had to follow, and that was, we take no prisoners. We had no place that we could handle prisoners, which was a little difficult because, you know, you had to dispose of them. And we finally made it all the way down to where our original base was. And this was about I would say it had to be around the middle or the second week of December. And I was again placed on guard duty, protecting the rear of our unit that was on its way out, fighting its way out. And during that time, there was a lot of firing, and it was very difficult. A lot of wounded, a lot of dead. We had truckloads, 6x loads of frozen, dead bodies when we came out of that, from up above. And we took all of our men with us on the trucks. We loaded them and took them out. It's one thing about the Marine Corps, they leave none of their wounded or dead behind. They take them. And during that affair down, I forget the name of the little town that we were the rear of, but during that time, the Chinese come in the war big time, and they were attacking us down there. And I was wounded by enemy fire. And for the first time, I run into an old buddy of mine from back home that lived a block away from me, Jimmy Dunn. And he got me out of there. Had the corpsmen come in and, with their stretchers and carried me out of there. I got a gunshot wound in the right leg. It wasn't a serious wound, but I couldn't walk on it. It was impossible. They took me to the airport and they flew me back to Japan. So my tour, that was December 7th when I was shot, which is a very famous day in our history, Pearl Harbor Day. And so I never forget it. That date I can remember. And they flew me, I got one of the last flights out of that to Japan, and I was in the hospital there for a while, and I had my orders to be transferred back to the States because I had already, used up all my time plus the 6 months that I spent over there. And basically, that was it. I got on the ship, and within the next couple of months, and they sent me back to where I originally joined, which was in Seattle at Pier 91, and I was on guard duty there. And from there, I was sent down to the Western Division rifle matches because I was an expert rifleman. And I fired in the matches that year. And I didn't do that well. I did okay, but it was okay. And then back to Seattle, and then I was on guard duty there until the day that I got discharged. And a year before I got out, when I first got up there, I had made arrangements for some interviews with a company, Allied Stores Corporation, as a matter of fact. And the CEO of the company hired me with a year to go in the service yet, so that the day that I got out, I went to work before I even moved into a house. And then we went from there. I'd gotten married in the meantime, too. So.
Remember, for help and information regarding claims, benefits, and services available to veterans and their families, call the Veteran Services Office or log on to the Polk County website. That's all we have for this edition of Today's Veteran. Next month, we'll update you on more news and information that pertains directly to the veteran community right here in Polk County. Until then, I'll see you in the trenches.